Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I told you in my Captain Marvel review that I wanted to do a video for you guys, showcasing the stuff that I got at Monster Mania. I went to that last weekend. It was my first time going to the convention, second time going to a horror convention, which is kind of surprising because horror is probably my favorite genre of, any of the, genres out there. I went to TerraCon a couple years ago. That was in Rhode Island, and that was kind of a smaller show. But so Monster Mania was not expecting the amount of people that were there. There was a lot of really cool vendors. I got to meet a bunch of different cool celebrities, and so this video is just going to kind of show you some of the stuff, like memorabilia and stuff that I got signed, as well as some of the photos that I got with some of the celebrities. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into some of the stuff that I got. All right, guys. So the first guest that I got to meet, just because she was only going to be there Friday and Saturday, so first thing when I got there, I was like, all right, after doing a number of conventions, not just like horror, but like Boston Comic Con, Rhode Island Comic Con, I've learned if there's a guest that's going to be leaving, on a particular day and they're not staying for the whole thing, I try to get them out of the way first. So my first guest that I got to meet, and I got this awesome print signed, and this is done by Stephen Holiday. I got this awesome print signed by Christina Ricci, and the only thing I'm a little bummed about is that I wanted her to sign in silver, but in person, you can read it pretty well, but I wanted her to sign in silver just because it would have came out a little bit better, I think. But overall, I'm still really happy with this print. I can't wait. I got to go find a frame for this thing. Having a hard time doing that, but yeah, I can't wait to get this up. Christina Ricci, she was really nice. I got a picture with her, as you can also see over to the right here. I also had her sign my 27 by 40 theatrical release of Sleepy Hollow. And as you can see, both of her signatures, she just does the CR and has the two little dots. A lot of people, I've seen that's like the little frowny face, but I've also seen, I guess that's for the letters in her last name. So I got two things signed by her just because, not sure when the next time. I know she just started doing conventions, so you might start seeing her pop out more. But not sure when the next time I'm going to see her. So I wanted to get two things signed. But this guy right here is definitely my favorite. I was so happy I was able to get a print from Steven. This amazing art, so I can't wait to get that up. And then, like I said, there's another shot of the poster. And then we'll go on to the next piece. So the next piece is actually, and as you can probably see some of the names on there, this was one of the main attractions of the convention. If you guys, if you're big horror fans, you might have heard that there was a craft reunion at this convention, and this was for the first time. We had all four of the girls there, and I know they already had three of them. They had Nev Campbell, Frieza Bulk, and Rachel True. They were already going, and then they ended up adding Robin Tunney to the lineup. So this was something that I absolutely had to get. So I ended up getting my 27 by 40 theatrical poster of the craft signed. And as you can see, got all four of the girls there. Sorry about the glare. And I had them all do inscriptions. So here, let's see if I can get that. There we go. North, south, east, west. We can make things happen. Nev Campbell. And she put, they all put their character names. So we got Bonnie there. I also had Nev sign something else, which I'll show you guys in a couple minutes. And then over here, I had Feruza put, her famous quote, "We are the weirdos, mister." And she put Nancy. And then over here, I had Robin Tunney and she put, "Relax, it's only magic. Now who is pathetic?" Put Sarah. It's actually funny. When I first had her sign it, she didn't put Sarah, so I actually ended up getting back into her line, which wasn't actually too bad. I'd say these two definitely had the biggest lines of the weekend, so I was able to jump back in line and get her to add Sarah, because I couldn't, not have one of them put that on there. And then we had Rachel True, and I had her put "Who's got the instructions?" When they're doing the light as a feather, and really, really nice signature there. She put her character name Rochelle, and all of these girls were super, super nice. They especially got a little bit more time, I would say, with these two, just because lines weren't quite as long. And then actually Nev Campbell, I got a decent amount of time too, but Firuza she had a pretty decent line, and they were trying to get people through, because she ended up getting to the convention a little bit later. But yeah, there is my craft photo. Also, I'll put up on the screen right now, this is my photo op that I ended up getting with the girls, and it was when I ended up getting it printed off afterwards. They mentioned that this is the first time that they had seen this, at least for this convention. I believe I've seen it at least like once or something similar online. But yeah, I ended up getting the famous, light as a feather pose, and it was funny when I ended up going into the photo op booth. I went up to Nev first, and I was just like, "Hey, can we do the light as a feather pose?" And I don't know, she might just not have, have heard me, because it, was a little loud. But she was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh, can we do the light as a feather pose, where I like lay down?" And I started getting down, and then they were like, "Oh, okay." So this was really cool. I had a lot of people, comment on it, really liked it. So definitely one of the highlights of the convention for me. Now we will go over to the other thing that I had Nev sign for me. And that other piece is my screen script. So I'm still trying to get confirmation. I got this, years ago from someone who was, claiming to say that this was Rose McGowan's copy of the script. Still trying to get confirmation for that. Years ago when I ended up getting Skeet and Matthew Lillard, they definitely said that at the very least this was like a studio used script, just because of like, on the side where it has screen written there. And then I'll show you guys the inside in a second. But they definitely thought it was like at least a screen used. They weren't sure if it's Rose's, but I asked Nev and she wasn't sure as well. But she thought the same thing. So that was pretty cool. Got her to sign. They all signed the outside cover, as well as if you look inside here, I got them. Everyone's done a little quote from the movie inside here. So I had Nev do one of her famous lines. "You sick fucks, you've seen one too many scary movies." And, she put Sydney. And, she really, when I had her write that, she thought that was funny. And, asked me where I'd got this. So definitely one of my favorite pieces of memorabilia that I have out of my horror collection. And I can't wait. I definitely want to add, some of the other main cast. So far, I got Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Henry Winkler, and Matthew Lillard. So hopefully I can meet some of the other cast at some upcoming conventions. But yeah, my screen script, front of it again. And then, as you can see right here, this is a really badass print that I ended up getting from an artist there. Go ahead and... sorry about that. The glare again, guys. But really, really cool print that I ended up getting, and I don't know the artist's name. I know if you were there, he did he carved these like pumpkins. Those are really cool too, but a little out of my price range for the convention. But I saw this and I was like, yeah, I definitely have to have this. It's like a 11 by 14, I think. And I mean, this artwork is just beautiful. So definitely had to snag this up. And if I can find his name, I'll put that down in the or as a link like below as well too. All right, and then on to my next thing. So I got to meet Dolph Lundgren, and as you can see there, got a boxing glove signed by him. And that, I thought that came out really nice. So, we got the signature right there. And then I asked if you could put I must break you. And, that came out really cool. And actually, because he had a pretty long line, for most of the weekend, I was able to get him to put an inscription. And from what I've heard, at one point they stopped doing it because he had so many people. So definitely pretty lucky that I was able to get that. I ended up using my, because you get like one skip the line pass, and I ended up using my skip the line pass on him just because his line, like I said, it was pretty long. It like wrapped around like the lobby. So definitely something that came out pretty well. And then you can see on the screen right now, here's my, my photo op picture with Dolph. And I actually ended up having to get this taken twice. First time, he was kind of, he was like looking up and not looking at the camera. So, but luckily I was able to jump back in line, and, they said that was no problem. So I got this photo op done with him. He was a really cool guy. I thought he was pretty nice. Some people saying he wasn't very personal, but I thought he was pretty cool, and it was nice that he was able to do the inscription for me. So overall, pretty pleased with that. Can't wait to get this in like a, some kind of like frame. Maybe I can meet someone else, some other people from the Rocky cast, because I got another glove, and add them on there. So, yeah, really like how this came out. All right, and then one of my other pieces of art, I love going, I love going to conventions, and it's like a little piece of something there. Love going to conventions, not only for the celebrities, but, for the pieces, the artist alley that they usually have at every single one. Because you get stuff like this, and, you can't find this stuff like everywhere. So that's what I really like it. It's unique. And I thought this was, really funny. I love Gremlins, one of my favorite like movies. So, and this artist too, I've got some stuff from her before, actually at Rhode Island Comic Con. They do a lot of like horror stuff. So I got like it's like a cat, and it has like a calendar, and it looks like something, kind of like retro. And so I got them from Rhode Island, got to talk to her for a few minutes, and, she commented on my Pumpkinhead shirt, as you guys might have seen in the beginning of the video. And we just were, kind of talking about like, that for a few minutes. So she was really nice. If you ever see her, definitely pick up some of her stuff. I think that, especially if you're a horror fan, you'll appreciate it. And then as you can see over here, this is the official poster for the convention. So this came out really cool. I was glad. I don't know if everyone got these. I know like if you were a VIP, you got one when you picked it up at like your table. And for the most part, actually pretty much every convention I go to now, I do like VIP, just because it makes things like so much easier, and you're able to usually get in lines earlier than the rest of the crowd. So I'm not sure if the regular attendees were able to get this, but really cool poster art, and I'm definitely adding that to my, my print collection. All right, guys, and then my last piece that I ended up getting signed there was my 2018 Michael Myers mask from Trick or Treat Studios. So yeah, as you guys can see there, I got a bunch of people on here. So I got Will Sandin, who was Michael Myers, age 6, in the beginning of the film. He was really nice, and as you can see, I'll put it up on the screen right now. This is, I got a picture with him as well. Let me take a picture of him signing. So he was really cool. All the guests, pretty much guests that I met there were really nice. Didn't mind that I, was taking pictures of them signing. So that's something that I always like to do. Just something that, I like holding on to, for looking back, down the road. So, but yeah, I got Will Sandin, and then I got Sandy Johnson. So she played Judith Myers. And from what I heard, it sounded like this might have been like one of her first conventions. So that was, it's pretty cool. She was really nice. I got to talk to her for a few minutes. And as you can see, I'll put up a picture of, me with her, as well as her, signing as well. Again, her and I'm assuming that was her like husband there. They were both really nice. Asked her how, the convention was going, and said that she was having a great time. She was surprised by the amount of people there, and, just said that everyone's been really nice to her. So glad that she had a good time. she was really sweet. So if you get a chance, definitely meet these two. And then over here, you got James Jude Courtney. So as you guys, might know if you've seen some of my earlier videos, that I actually got to interview James Jude Courtney back in October last year before Halloween came out. So this was really cool, and his is a little bit darker. He had to go over this just because it was a little bit harder, and as you can see in the photo of like him signing, it was a little bit harder the way that he was signing it. So ended up going over with this, but it came out darker and I think a little bit nicer. So really like how that came out. I talked to him. Wasn't sure if he had remembered me, because I know the guy was busy and he's done a lot, but he at least made it sound like he did, which was which I appreciated. That was really cool. I got to talk to him for a few minutes. I was surprised that actually the line that he had for for people, but at the same time where the movie had just come out and he just started, I think this was one of his first East Coast appearances. So but yeah, he had a pretty busy line the whole weekend. I again definitely suggest if you get a chance to meet him. And then over here we got Danielle Harris. So I'd met her before, but where I was getting people to sign the mask, I was like, hey, what the heck? I'm gonna have her sign this as well. And as you can see here, this was really cool about this convention, is that she ended up doing a photo op with her Halloween 4 costume, and this was the first time for her doing that. So this convention had a lot of really cool stuff. The craft reunion had Danielle Harris doing the photo op in her costume. I know CJ Graham, I think he was doing his as Jason. So that's really cool that the different celebrities are willing to dress up and do these photos with the fans. Granted, I know that they're getting paid to do so, but it's still really cool that they're willing to do that. And as always, Danielle Harris, she's really nice. I got a couple things signed from her, and if you ever get a chance, definitely meet her. And then down here, last but not least, you see Nick Castle, the original Shape from 1978, and super nice guy. It was cool that both the original Michael Myers and then Michael Myers from 2018 were there, and I'll post up, or I'll show you guys right now, the photo with him as well. So, and they actually did, both Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney, they both did photos for free if you got a signature. So that was really nice. I know some of this stuff can get really expensive, especially doing photos and autographs. But yeah, both of theirs were actually part of, the autograph. So definitely worth meeting these guys. And I can't wait to add more people now to this mask. Really like how, how this looks so far. So hopefully it can add some, other Halloween alumni, down the road. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything that I got there. So I hope you guys, enjoyed this video. I had a really fun time there. Like I said, haven't 100% confirmed it if I'm, going down to the one in August, but regardless, I'll probably end up doing Boston and Rhode Island. So let me know, what you thought of the video. Do you want me to keep doing these? And if, if you've been to other horror conventions, let me know what your experience was like there. This is, like I said, this is my first time really going to a big one. So I had a really, really fun time, and it was cool getting to meet some fellow horror fans as well. So, but yeah, also just want to mention too, this upcoming week, next weekend, I'm going to be pretty busy. I'm going to have reviews for Us. So I'm going to see that, I think, Friday night. I'm also going to be, I believe that's this next weekend too. If not, it's the weekend after, but I'm going to see Scream. So that's going to be cool. So I'm probably going to end up doing a review for that because it's one of my favorite films. And then I'm going to end up seeing Shazam actually 2 weeks early. They did one of those early release or advanced screenings. So I'm going to get to see that as well. So I'm going to have a couple of reviews up there for you. So keep an eye out for that. And make sure you guys check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.